So what you're going to see in the directions for Work Together and On Your Own is they have information. Now, I don't like how this assignment is laid out in the directions. I would have preferred if they gave you a screenshot of a payroll register, because that's really where this information is coming from. What we have to do is we have to take those columns from our payroll register and put them into the accounts. And in this example, they went through and just pulled it out, and I would prefer if you got it from the payroll register. So we have Metro's company's payroll register has the following totals for the pay period July 1st to the 15th of the current year. T accounts and a cash payments journals are provided. So the first thing we have to do, instruction number 1, is use the T accounts provided to analyze Metro's July 1st to the 15th payroll. So I'm just going to move my numbers out of the way. So salary expense. Which column does salary expense relate to? Do you remember what I said? What was that, Kendra? Nope. Good guess, though. So it's not a liability. So that knocks out 3 of them, and we're left with 2. Is total earnings what we paid our employees? When we think about a payroll register, we had the left column, which was earnings, the right side, which was deductions, and the very far right side was net pay. Net pay is truly what we paid our employees. So total earnings is going to be what we associate with salary expense. That is what all of our employees earned prior to deductions. So under salary expense, I'm going to put $12,600 as a debit, because we're going through and keeping track of how much the employees have earned from us. So again, salary expense is going to be debited $12,600. Now, federal income tax withheld. This is where I said it's wonky, because we do not have an account called federal income tax withheld, but we do have an employee income tax payable. So the column on our payroll register that says federal income tax withheld is going to go with the account of employee income tax payable, and that's going to be a credit of $1,186. Now, Social Security matches up exactly how it is. It says Social Security tax withheld $781.21. That's going to be a credit. And Medicare, same thing, $182.70. Now, oops, they didn't give us any more numbers. But we have one more account. What are we going to need to do? We have to do some math, okay? And this math is no different than the type of math that you did for the test for the last chapter. We have salary expenses, your earnings, and then if you add up all of your liabilities, that would be your deductions, and the difference between the two is going to be your cash. And that typically, like if we take a look at what we did in the last chapter, this would be what was the check that was written to cover all of your payroll. So again, you'll take $12,600, and from that you'll subtract out $1,186, $781.20, and $182.70. And I got $10,450.01. 10 cents. 10 cents, yes. 10 cents, not 1 cent. Is that going to be a cash debit or credit? Are we getting money or are we paying? Say it louder, Olivia. Credit, I agree. $10,450.10. So when we actually do the assignments for the chapter, they're not going to have T accounts for us. We're just doing this just as a learning to be like, oh yeah, I remember how to journalize this information. And we're going to go down here, and it tells us in instruction 2 to journalize the payment from Metro July 1st through July 1st through 15th payroll on page 15th of the Cash Payments Journal. The payroll was paid on check number 455 on July 15th of the current year. So I have to put July. Date is the 15th. And now I need to make sure that I have them listed in the correct order. What is the correct order? Your payroll register left to right. So it's going to be salary expense and then employee income tax payable, all of the columns. And in this case, for how we have our T accounts, because they didn't give us our payroll register, it would be the order that they're listed above. So I'm going to have salary expense is going to be debited. Employee income tax is going to be credited. Social Security tax payable, I said expense, didn't I? I wrote the right ones and I said the wrong word. Medicare tax payable is going to be credited. And now this is always where students get this wrong. My debits and credits don't equal, because which account did I not take care of yet? Cash. Good call, Dale. Now, cash needs to go on the very first line. Okay? So my cash amount needs to go right here on line 1, not down here in the bottom. So I'm going to have 1 debit here. I have 3 credits in my general, and then my cash amount is going to go right there under cash credit. Then if I check that, woo, I got it perfect. Go ahead and try the on your own, please.